plug it in? Are you all set?
Hey!
Oh.
Welcome to the Magic Living Room.
What the?
I'm your host, Mike Mordanga.
Yeah. What? This is Adam.
This is Mike.
Mike, do you know what today is? Today's very important.
Today is September 12th.
I don't expect you to understand, Mike. Mm-hmm. Today is the keynote for the new iPhones.
What?
Yeah, the new iPhone 8.
I thought it was 9.
X. It's called the iPhone X. I don't know. Who knows? There's going to be a new iPhone 7S. Mm-hmm. Are you excited, Mike? As I am.
What did they get rid of this time? The screen?
Yeah, pretty much.
A way to charge it?
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, man. So, today's a really special day, Mike. So, you got to make sure that we wrap this up quickly, because I got to get to the keynote.
Yes. So, as you mentioned that, you have an iPhone right now.
Yeah, I'm flipping through it.
And it's disintegrating as you speak.
No, the iPhone is fine. It's the case that's broken.
Right. Well, no, I mean, the rule is once an iPhone comes into existence, all the other ones disintegrate, and yours is turning to ashes.
Well, maybe. Although, the thing that I think I'm most sad about them and what they're getting rid of is they're getting rid of the rose gold color.
What?
Right? That's such a pretty color.
Rose gold is the only color that says, hey, I'm rich and Catholic.
Oh, Catholic. I was going to say feminine, but that works too.
Feminine or Catholic.
Well, rose gold is the most millennial color I think I've ever seen in my life.
I think my grandma has a few rose gold.
Right, but it's come back into style and they put it on an iPhone. Like, that's very hipster. But anyways, so what are we up to today?
Well, we have a fan. We have a fan shout out.
Oh yeah?
Yes, we do. So our loving fans, all 13 of you.
Wow.
One of them sent a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sounds like you're trying to reach out to us, trying to show us how wonderful we are.
True that.
What a big impact we've made. So
it's true.
I haven't played it yet, but, now's better than any time.
Right. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yep.
They know this is a PG podcast.
Yeah.
I am watching you, Adam and Mike. One day I will find you and destroy you as soon as I get all the crystals.
How many mana crystals?
Wow, that was interesting. That was from an E-Mike location, Earth 2.
Okay. What do you think the E stands for?
Equality.
Ebenezer?
Evelyn.
One of those, I'm sure.
Yep. So, that might have something to do with the guy that keeps threatening us and killing off versions of us.
Let's hope not. But, I don't know. We gotta face him at some point.
Yes. Well, you know what? I think he's turning around. Our evil Adam, evil Mike. Mm-hmm. Because next week they invited us to a party.
Wait, what? Did you accept again?
Yes, just the two of us.
What the heck?
Yep, it's called a dark alley party.
That sounds suggestive.
Yes. They want us to stand in a dark alley and, it sounds very millennial.
Joke, does it?
Very hip.
Yeah.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah.
So I think we should go.
To
accept their apology for being rude.
I don't see why they can't just do it in a nice Starbucks.
Come on, Adam. We need to be hip and with it.
What's more hip and with it than Starbucks?
A dark alley party.
They literally have unicorn frappuccinos.
It's true.
I feel like the only frappuccino you can get in an alleyway is one made out of rats.
So you're saying there'll be food?
Wow,
that's a promising part of a party.
We can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
So those are our fans. If you send us a voice recording,
we'll think about playing it.
We'll think about playing it. Yes. And this is going to be a short episode. So, and it's only been 5 minutes. We've been podcasting.
Yeah, and we're done.
Yeah. Wait, no. Next episode is going to be episode 50. and we're trying to make it huge and bigly.
Mm-hmm. Huge and bigly.
Huge and bigly.
Yes.
Which is my favorite extra large clothing store. So to give you we wanted to give you like a little teaser, a little pod tease about because we know you've been missing us, counting the days that we haven't posted.
Right. It's just been so busy with the start of school. Obviously our ministries are in full swing right now, and I got class in an hour, and we'll figure out a better time for this because we love you guys.
Yeah, my ministry's going well. Thank you very much.
Oh, Mike.
Not that you would ask, audience.
You were talking to me, Mike.
No,
I just asked.
You always ask.
That's true. Oh man, but yeah, no, we're excited. Although there was a little bit of a snafu on our staff page. I thought that our fall retreat was going to be on a Thursday, and apparently I don't know how to read. To be fair, I was playing Street Fighter 4 Turbo at the time, and I wasn't giving the Facebook post my full attention.
That really explains the comment that says, "Hey, Chun-Li,
right.
This is on a Thursday. Stop kicking your leg so wildly."
Right. Blanca has complained.
Yes. That is awesome. Other things in the pipeline is, that game Cards Against Humanity?
Yes. I thought you were asking the audience. The live studio audience that we have.
Come on, audience. Stop being so shy.
Right.
Say it. Let's say it. Well, basically, I created one that's much cleaner because that game is just very disgusting. And you can't play it with a good soul. And you shouldn't play it at all, but it's still such a fun premise. It's like apples to apples. But I made mine that uses Babylon Bee-esque church culture.
Oh.
So you're going to get questions like, why is the pastor sad? And it's going to say someone poisoned his casserole. Or because...
Must be a Baptist church.
Because the bass player showed up.
Right.
Yes, stuff like that. So we'll play that. Maybe live, maybe on air.
Yeah.
Maybe live on air.
Well, who knows?
Yes.
All the above.
Yes. But I did, just to give you a little tease, or as they say in the podcast business, show a little leg.
Oh my. This is a Pete. How many times do I have to say this, Mike?
Hey, legs are in now.
Oh, I mean, that's what they...
Yes.
I have nothing to say right now that won't get me in trouble.
Yes. So I'm going to show a little leg, and we're going to reveal a top 5, just to give you a little something to get your fix of Mike and Adam's dreams and feelings.
Yes.
And this was our top 5 90s movies we've seen more than 3 times.
Man. Yeah, I feel like you've picked just terrible movies.
I've only liked terrible movies.
I don't understand you, Mike.
I'm addicted to terrible movies.
Why?
If someone says, hey, that was lackluster, meh.
Right? You're like, I'm all in.
And you're like, yeah, it's just become my favorite movie.
It just...
It's true. When I watched White Chicks, I started picking out good things I liked about it just because I know it. It was so horrible.
And then, 12 Years a Slave is up, and you're like, too compelling.
Too compelling.
Too well acted.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
I just want to get in, get out.
Yes. I came to escape.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So how do you feel about movies like Pacific Rim?
I have yet to see that, but
What the heck, Mike?
I know, It
seems like that's the most recent, go-to good, bad movie.
Yeah. Well, the Transformers craze came out,
and
ever since I saw the third Transformers and fell asleep, I still don't know how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
You know that weird thing when you fall asleep in a theater and you wake up to, a spoiler?
Yeah. Of the movie that you're watching?
Yes. To, oh, he was the bad guy the whole time, and then you go back to sleep because you don't understand the significance. Well, that was Transformers 3.
Oh, man. That was a very extensive nap, Mike.
Yeah, Dollar Theater.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, no. What are your top 5?
So the first one is, I want to say this is the movie that was in the proto phase of the comic book fandom craze, and that is Spawn. 1997 Spawn. It had a killer soundtrack, including bands like Filter, Marilyn Manson. Oh gosh, all those 90s dark bands. Stabbing Westward was in there.
What the? I thought you were just making something up.
No, I loved Spawn for its like very dark and edgy soundtrack. In fact, one of the songs that was contributed on the album is just this band yelling Satan.
What the?
To like a rock riff.
Wow, that sounds terrifying.
I've banned that song from the list, but
yeah. But Spawn. Did you see it in theater?
I saw it in theaters.
Wow.
Then I got the VHS.
Of course.
Then I got I saw it on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Wow.
So
it's on Netflix now, so go check it out.
Oh yeah, it's not nearly as good as the comic book kind of envisioned it to be, but it's kind of like a primitive form of what we see from Marvel and DC today.
Yeah, and it just feels like they didn't have the technology to kind of make what they wanted.
Yeah. But everyone was remarking how awesome it was in the final fight between Spawn.
That's a good game.
Yes, Final Fight is a great game. But Spawn is an okay movie.
Right.
Where Spawn fights the evil clown guy.
It?
No, no, not information technology.
Okay.
And he uses the chains to cut off his head. And I remember everyone being like, "That is awesome!"
Right.
Movies can't get better than that.
And they did.
And they did.
They did.
Very quickly.
Very rapidly.
Yes.
Looking at you, 2001. Spider-Man.
Yes. What is your...
So, the problem is, I was born in 1992. So, for most of the 90s, I did not see a lot of movies in theaters because it just wasn't in my field of vision. But... subsequently, in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, I went back and visited a lot of these movies. And a lot of the movies on my list, I probably shouldn't have been watching when I was that age. But I feel like they've really made me into who I am today. So my first movie is The Matrix, which came out in 1999.
Oh, yeah!
It's great. A lot of... came out in 1999. Keanu Reeves... Lawrence Fishburne. It's great. Hugo Weaving. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Back then, a rated R movie in the 90s wasn't nearly as bad as our today's rated R movies.
That's true.
Back then, they dropped a few S-bombs, maybe a middle finger.
Right.
Punched someone a little bit hard.
Right. Someone was definitely murdered on screen.
Yes. But today's movies is like what you can get off Netflix. Right next to the Wiggles concert is like Game of Thrones.
Right.
Full nudity, dragons decapitating.
Right, exactly. But The Matrix, great. Directed by the group formerly known as the Wachowski brothers.
The Wachowski siblings.
Siblings now. It's fantastic movie. It kind of is the cornerstone, I think, now for science fiction movies going forward. From that point on, definitely was a cornerstone turning moment for science fiction. You can watch any science fiction movies now, and you just see the impact between like the fighting slow-mo sequences, the wide angle establishing shots,
the green filter.
Exactly.
Everyone loves that green filter.
So, yeah, The Matrix, check it out. Definitely awesome.
Number 2 is DuckTales the movie. DuckTales. I didn't even like the show. But when my grandma rented the movie...
It blew your mind?
It blew my mind. It was all about a genie lamp that Scrooge McDuck, or Mr. McDuck, had found once and how it made his life rich, but it also destroyed Duckburg. And I remember, like, when the first time it just blew my mind, and I watched it again immediately after. And then a third time. I kind of want to watch it now. It's just probably because it looks like trash.
No, 100% does.
Yeah.
That's so good. No, but what is the plot to DuckTales?
Well, DuckTales is
I hate you.
about it's Scrooge McDuck. Is that he calls himself Scrooge or Mr. McDuck? I don't know.
It's Scrooge.
Okay, yeah, Scrooge McDuck. He's so rich, and every episode he tries to get just a little bit richer.
Mm-hmm.
And his children, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or his nephews, I should say.
Right.
They're kind of along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a guy who flies him places. And yeah, it's basically
go on adventures.
a biopic of Trump.
Right. Before Donald Trump. Right. No, definitely.
Yeah.
So my next one is a little bit more illustrious than that.
And DuckTales.
It won the Academy Award for Best Director. It won the Academy Award for Best Cinematography. It won the Academy Award for Best Film Editing and Best Sound Mixing.
Pacific Rim?
And Best Sound Editing. It's possibly one of the best movies of all time. It's Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
Came out in 1998. The cast is all star, like Tom Hanks, Matt Damon,
Vin Diesel,
Tom Sizemore. It's I don't know, an amazing movie. It's an emotional roller coaster, and they were saying that like World War II vets that were watching the opening sequence for Saving Private Ryan they had like PTSD attacks because they it was so historically accurate.
Oh man,
to the D-Day stuff. So it's a fantastic movie. It's really great, well directed, obviously by Spielberg. But if you haven't seen it yet, what are you, living under a rock? It's definitely a cornerstone for movies.
Everyone in my time was like saying, "Oh, that opening scene is so gross." You know, people are holding their guts in. Mm-hmm. People are crying for their mom.
Right.
Yeah. The ocean is blood. Mm-hmm. The moon fades away. The plague of darkness.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like, I don't want to see that.
Right.
Because maybe I was only 16. So it took me all the way till 2005.
To see it?
Yeah.
I saw it probably when I was 15 or 16. So that was that was a while down the road for me too.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of those things where if you appreciate World War II, if you appreciate war movies, you definitely need to check it out, because and like the other movies that I said, the Matrix, this is kind of the cornerstone for every kind of war movie that comes out. That's the standard that they have to live by. Before
that movie, a majority of war movies were rooting, shooting cowboys,
right.
Clint Eastwood
right.
taking Easy Company
right.
to get Nazi gold.
Right, exactly.
It kind of put the face of war on it.
Yeah, for real. So movies that have come out recently, like Fury or Dunkirk or all these movies, they have definite, there are definite, maybe not direct homages to to Saving Private Ryan, but you can definitely see the lasting impact that it's had. Even now, some 12, 15 years later.
Absolutely. So number 3, going in the tradition of Saving Private Ryan, Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
I feel like all your movies are 90 minutes long. My last 3 movies are over 2 hours.
Mine was a quick in and out. You go in, you see Dennis Hopper acting poorly. with John Leguizamo
Right.
eating mushrooms and fighting a evolutionary model of Koopa. And not once did I say, "Hey, this is nothing like the game."
Right.
To me, it was just like, "Yes, this just makes sense."
Right.
In fact, the funny thing about the Super Mario Brothers movie is, everyone could say it's super dark.
Mm-hmm.
It looked more like Turok than an actual Super Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the director actually admitted that he wanted it to be darker
What the?
and more adult.
How? Why?
The fact that it looked like that was him compromising. Yes. There's a woman who gets electrified and turns into a skeleton.
That's crazy.
Yes.
This is a kid's movie.
This was a kid's movie. Imagine Sonic the Hedgehog, but he's a drug runner.
Right. No, 100%.
Yes.
He was. They were doing the. They were doing the Dark Knight Rises before Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, right.
That's so good. They were pulling a Christopher Nolan before Christopher Nolan was a thing. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of dark and brooding,
Yes.
my next pick, also over 2 hours long, is Fight Club.
Fight Club?
Which came out in 1999.
Oh.
Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, so good. Helena Bonham Carter. Jared Leto is actually in it too.
Yeah. Wait, you think Brad Pitt's in it, but at the end of the movie, he was never in the movie.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've talked about Fight Club more than any other movie on this podcast. I keep talking about Fight Club, but it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but also I'm breaking a lot of rules. I'm talking about Fight Club and on a podcast.
You know what the next rule is? Try your best and have a great time.
Exactly. No, it's everyone must fight.
Yes.
It's your first night. You
Yeah.
have to fight.
There was a Twitter joke about it's amazing how Edward Norton was punching himself in the gut, and a few guys were like, "Yeah, I'm into that."
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. My fourth movie, and now I'm going to get artsy.
Oh
I'm
my.
going to get artsy, and then I'm going to get dumb again.
Okay.
In 1997, Princess Mononoke came out.
Hey.
And it was indie. It was artsy. I went to the Little Theater.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot. That's where all the artsy movies are played.
Yes.
There was a ton of goth kids, future cosplayers, cosplay. And, we all just cried and laughed to one of... I'll never pronounce his name, but the producer and director who made that movie has made such countless anime hits. He's the only reason that we look at anime as like worthy of our
style, yeah.
of our Oscar awards.
Right. No. And that's the Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli before Disney ate it up. Which is why Princess Mononoke is filled with like beheadings and limbs falling off. And,
right.
Blood spraying everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, there are other classics like My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
And
Spirited Away.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are some other ones that I'm missing.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, that's it. That's Princess Mononoke is a classic. And will go down as such.
Yes.
And the first and maybe the only movie on your list that I respect.
Yes. Spawn. DuckTales.
And funnily enough, this movie might be the only one that you approve of on my list, and it's Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. It's ironic?
Mm-hmm.
The newer one that just came out is about a park.
Right.
And the one that came out in the 90s is about a world.
Right.
So, irony.
They're downscaling.
Yes.
Downscaling. Yeah, Jurassic Park. I mean, what more can you say about it? It's iconic. It's amazing.
It was false about all of its dinosaur facts, but who's
right,
counting?
right. You're watching this movie to escape, Mike.
Yes.
I'm here to watch one T-Rex attack a bunch of innocent people, and I want to see a bunch of velociraptors eat Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah, the movie's great. The first time I saw it, we saw it in segments at the end of the year for my earth science class.
Right.
In high school.
Same idea. We had it on Laserdisc.
Bro. We watched it on DVD.
The school had a Laserdisc.
Man.
And they put it in to like this huge pancake loader. You could watch it at 23 frames per second.
Man, living it up.
Then you had to flip the huge pancake over. How did we ever think that was better than VHS?
Don't know. But I'm glad we got to the DVD, so.
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park, again, like another cornerstone fantasy, sci-fi. George Lucas knocks it out of the park. George Lucas pretty much
was it Steven Spielberg?
Was it Steven Spielberg?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why I said George
He invented the summer action flick.
Yeah. I was just thinking of Indiana Jones, I think is what I meant to say. But when you think of summer blockbuster fun movies, you think of Spielberg. And Spielberg is on this list twice for me. Saving Private Ryan, but it seems like Spielberg and Lucas kind of owned, the mid 80s to the early 2000s. They kind of.
And when you went to Universal Studios, you got to go on both of his rides, E.T. and Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so that's
changed a bit.
My second one there.
Number one, and this movie clinched parody for me. I didn't understand parody and satire until I saw International Man of Mystery, Austin Powers.
Oh man.
With such iconic jokes as "Who does number 2 work for?" and an ill-deformed bass with a laser on its head, and such jokes as that. Before number 2 and 3 came out, and it became just a walking commercial and just a bunch of taglines. Austin Powers was beautifully written and hilarious.
True that. And just kind of the last time that
Mike Myers
did anything noteworthy.
Yes. Looking at you, Love Guru.
Yeah, that tanked him so hard.
Yes, that won like a few Razzies, which is the reverse Oscars.
The reverse Oscars. Speaking of
reverse Oscars.
No, reverse Oscars. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie came out in 1994. 2 years after I was born.
Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Pulp Fiction. I love it. I love John Travolta. I love Samuel L. Jackson. I love
the Book
Bruce
of Ezekiel.
Willis. Yes. So that is my number one favorite choice. But I feel like there are, and I mean, if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, do so if you're over the age of 15, 16. I definitely saw it way too young. It's a great piece of American film. It's definitely a callback to Pulp Fiction, which is just like serialized, extremely graphic novels that would come out, and it's grindhouse at its finest. It's a very compelling story, well acted, well shot, and a typical Tarantino over the top action. It's great. But yeah, I have a couple of honorable mentions that I want to get to. I don't know if you have any, but I feel like I needed to get a couple comedies in there. So I have What About Bob?
Oh, that's
came
so
out in
good.
1991.
Yes.
Bill Murray is amazing.
Ghostbusters 2?
A genius.
I saw it 3 times, so it satisfies the list.
Yeah, that's fair.
The fact that I forgot it and Ghostbusters is my favorite series tells you a little about the movie.
Yeah, very forgettable.
Yes.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
Saving Private Ryan.
Hey!
Fight Club.
Hey!
No, I haven't seen those 3 times. I've seen them like 2.5.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. I have The Mask, which is a Jim Carrey classic. I enjoy that. I enjoy that thoroughly. And I don't know. I'm actually curious to see how you feel about this movie, because I feel like you either love this movie or you hate it.
What movie?
Space Jam.
Space Jam! I wanna fly like an eagle.
1996.
Yes. It was so good.
It's
the only movie that made Bill Murray into an athlete.
In any sense of the word.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love Space Jam. I feel like it's, I don't know, it just feels like the premiere kind of crossover movie for me.
You know, what's funny is they tried to capitalize on that. They made a Looney Tunes movie where Looney Tunes go into real life and they go on hijinks and adventures. And Taz actually unzips his costume to reveal Bill Goldberg.
Of course. Which makes sense.
Second movie. So, yeah, that movie tanked hard, but Space Jam made it hopeful that they one day could.
Right.
100%. And that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Come on, Ride That Train.
Right? So
Fly
good.
Like an Eagle.
Fly Like an Eagle. Classics. Great movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Another great soundtrack was Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. I'm surprised you didn't have that on here.
I did. I watched it like 6 times.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. This was before I understood like modesty in movies and like toning it down a bit.
Right.
For a kid.
That movie was very camp.
So over the top.
So good.
Yeah.
Bat nipples.
Yeah. Oh, that was the 4th
cards.
one. Yeah, I won't go near Batman and Robin.
It's so good. That was also 90's, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But like Jim Carrey was insane in that
so
movie.
Good.
And
he's
wouldn't
actually good.
He wouldn't stop talking. Like,
yeah.
But that fits the Gotham profile more than Bane does.
Right.
I think that Batman is more of the Batman world than some of the Nolan stuff.
No, definitely. I definitely love. I think Jim Carrey has an underrated role as the Riddler in that. I feel like he's actually pretty good. I like that.
Two-Face.
Two-Face is
he
great.
did a really good job.
What's his name? We can look
Tom.
it up. Tom. Was it Batman Forever?
Yeah, Batman Forever.
Shoot, this is bad. I should know this.
I know.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones, yes. Val Kilmer, the most Russian actor. He does mostly Russian roles, and then he plays Moses in another movie, but he decided, hey, I'm Batman.
Right, it's great. Oh, that's good. No, Batman Forever, definitely very good.
But I think George Clooney looks the most like Batman based on the animated adventures of Batman. Meaning that he can pull off the look.
Right.
He was just put in the worst movie ever.
True, agreed.
I mean, why can't we bring him back?
Yeah, no, and I think as great as Christian Bale is as Batman, you can definitely look at him and be like, he's not a playboy billionaire philanthropist.
No.
He definitely does Muay Thai on weekends.
Yes. Yeah, you need someone who just looks like he could throw you $1 million at any time.
Right, and looks like he enjoys caviar.
Yeah, and George Clooney is that man.
Right, no, 100%. And yeah, Christian Bale looks like he eats, protein shakes for breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, but Val Kilmer looks like he plays an orphan really well. Everything about him is an orphan in that movie.
It's true. It's great.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I'm surprised you didn't have
Michael Keaton.
Right? And Michael Keaton. I like Michael Keaton. I think he's my favorite from that kind of era.
Which is funny. The original Batman script called for Bill Murray to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been not a good call.
Well, here's the thinking behind that. They wanted a comedian, and Michael Keaton was a comedian back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't into action movies. And this kind of started his action movie career, which I'm glad they went with him because he kind of gave it the life and class.
Yeah.
Which I really think he's in his latest movies, he's such a like a devious, kind of messed up guy.
Yeah, because, I mean, the Vulture, and he's now an American assassin.
Yeah, RoboCop, the new one, he played a great bad guy, so, he needs to make a comeback. In fact, if they make a Batman Beyond, the internet is begging for him to be old Bruce.
That would be great.
Yes.
Actually, I very 100% get behind that.
I know.
I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, they screwed up by not putting the Breaking Bad guy.
Jesse...
No, Jesse Eisenberg was Lex Luthor, but they wanted
not Jesse Pinkman?
No, who's the guy
other
from
guy?
Breaking Bad?
Jesse Pinkman is he plays the younger character. But you mean the older character?
Yes, that was what the internet screamed for, is the Breaking Bad guy, Malcolm in the Middle dad.
Right.
Come on, his name should be easy.
Oh, I mean, if you scroll down, you can.
Yeah.
Bryan
Bryan Cranston.
Cranston, yeah.
The world needed to see him as Lex Luthor, and it was such a no-brainer thing to do.
Mm.
The fact that we went with Jesse Eisenberg. In fact, I'd rather see Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul, yeah.
as Lex Luthor.
As Lex Luthor. I don't know. I like the... Funny enough, Eisenberg was the only thing I liked about Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah. Well, that's because he did an awesome rendition of what we think the Riddler is.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
He would make an amazing Riddler, just hearing his voice. Riddle me this.
Right.
Jesse Eisenberg could do it.
Right, 100%.
But Lex Luthor needs to be, like, the most stubborn jerk in the world.
Right, no, 100%. So I'm surprised you actually didn't include this because of your penchant for knockoff second-rate movies, or knockoffs of mainstream movies. And The Mummy and its clear stealing of Indiana Jones.
Yes. The Mummy.
I feel like Brandon Fraser owned the 90s.
Oh my gosh, he did.
I mean, The Mummy, George of the Jungle,
Blast from the Past.
Encino Man.
Encino Man.
I mean...
The Quiet American. No, that might have been 2000s.
Yeah, that was 2002. But yeah, no, he was in. Oh, he was also in the Looney Tunes Back in Action, but that's a little bit later. But but yeah, no, he was like everywhere. But yeah, no, I love the movie.
I would say he is the Jason Segel of the 90s.
No, I think Jason Segel is the Jason Segel of the 90s.
He was barely in it, but Brandon Fraser was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I love Brandon Fraser. I think he's great. See, any other thoughts? Any other 90s movies?
No, I think we've done it justice.
Yeah, I think so.
We've looked at its dark side, its ugly side, its beautiful side.
Right, 100%. That was great. No, I love that quick trip down memory lane. That was great. So, any other thoughts or ideas before we wrap this mini pod up?
Just the idea that Little Mermaid is the reason anyone loves redheads.
What the?
Yeah, I think the 90s should be credited to that. Redheads was not a thing, and then the Little Mermaid came out.
Did that come out in the 90s?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Just at the crux of the 90s.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I'll take a look. What are you most excited about going forward right now? Like, what in the big wide world are you most excited about right now?
On our podcast?
No, not necessarily for our podcast or anything that you're doing, but like like for me, like I said at the beginning of the pod, I'm pretty pumped for the new iPhone. But like, what about you? Like, what's going on out there?
Well, I'm moving into a house.
Oh,
next Saturday.
Oh, okay, that's real.
Okay.
That's good. No, that's awesome.
Challenge. I got my boss to build me a house.
Wow, step up, fellas.
Yep, and he agreed to it. It was his idea. The house is beautiful. It's on 19th Ward.
Which means nothing to anyone not from Rochester.
Yes, that's kind of like the ethnic crust of downtown Rochester.
It's right near the U of R.
It's right near U of R. It's
College Town.
It's on the corner of diversity and culture, I guess. And yeah, it's a beautiful house, 4 bedrooms. We're actually having conversations, Lynn and I, about like what are we gonna do with those extra 2 bedrooms. And that's a humble brag. Because it's in Rochester, it's very hard to find a nice looking house, and the Lord has been good in making sure this house goes smoothly.
Definitely. So, yeah, no, that's awesome. That's something to be excited about. That's very cool. And I don't have anything in that sphere of being excited. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's really great. But yeah, so next time, join us for episode 50.
Episode 50.
Hopefully we'll have some of your favorites. Maybe some not so favorites.
We're gonna go down memory lane.
Yes.
Play some old games.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe talk about Taylor Swift.
Yep. And I think it'll be a huge turning point in our story of Evil Mike and Evil Adam trying to kill us.
Yes, 100%. That's what it seems like.
I really hope they don't.
Me too.
I'm really pulling that they fail.
Right. It would be pretty awful if you died before you got to move into your house.
Yes. Though, if this is a season finale, one of us has to die.
Right.
If we're going by the rules of Walking Dead, American Horror Story,
the WB,
Shakespeare plays. So anyways.
Yes. So thank you for sticking with us. Our show went great last week or the week before. Thank you for all of you that came out.
Just an update. My brother wanted to update that the big show is still alive.
Still kicking.
Yep.
Retired though. Retired.
Yes.
Well,
after that rifle.
Right.
Took him out of commission. I mean, really.
Right. And yeah, so also maybe do you want to maybe announce us thinking about doing maybe a Halloween show and like a Christmas show?
For those who loved our improv, which went really well, we killed it. This wasn't some chintzy bunch of guys showing up after 2 months of practicing. This was the real deal. We got like 4 stars on all the improv publications that I'm making up as we go along.
Only 4?
4 stars. Well, we're new to the game.
Right. We're gonna work our way up to the Kenny Omega 6.25 stars.
Yes.
Out of 5.
Yes. And now we're thinking of doing a Halloween show.
Yes.
Which involves telling horror stories, being irreverent, silly, goofy, telling people about our ministry, having them politely ignore it.
Right. And maybe I won't take my pants off this time.
Maybe.
Who knows?
That was a good suggestion, though.
Yeah, thank you.
So, finally, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I'm Mike.
I'm also Adam.
Thank you for coming to the Magic Living Room.
And
patent pended.
Whoa. And thanks for hanging out.
All right.
We appreciate you.
And we love you.
Sometimes.